Picasso. She has agreed very graciously to accompany me and, just to help me if I was a little nervous on the live. She, however, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. She is never, ever nervous on a live. In fact, any sort of attention she absolutely loves. So this is my first live art show. I'm committed to doing one of these a month. I have been working with this fabulous group, and this is one of the things that they are teaching me how to do. So I might be a little nervous. I might stumble a bit, but let's be kind and we'll talk about art. This show is a way for me to show you some of the work that I have. The landing page has been up, and there's a link in all of my bios, and there's probably going to be a link in the chat as well. With the work that's for sale right now, it's all discounted, and it's all physically right here with me. So I am going to show it to you piece by piece. And if you go to the link, depending where you're watching, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, the link is going to be in my bio. I'm sure the link is going to be somewhere in the chat. And I have a couple of people helping me. So if you put something in the chat and I don't notice it right away, Daniel is going to let me know what's going on. So questions, anything like that, put them in the chat. They'll get read, and Picasso and I will do our best to answer them. So today is about me showing you just some of the work that I have. This last year I decided, I've been an artist my whole life. This last year I actually decided to do it openly. My joke before was, I haven't had a drink in about 17 or so years, and I would talk about being an artist in a lot of the same way. It'd be like, hi, my name is Ruth, and I'm an artist. And I would really just try not to do it. So I've done a lot of different things in my life, but this is my love. So here we go. I'm going to start showing you the pieces. If you have the landing page, you can take a look at them. But right here is my first one. And this is, it is a acrylic pour technique. And this is something I learned to do can you not attack it? Thank you. This is something I learned to do over the summer, and just got completely obsessed. You get this sort of marbling, bubbling effect by using silicone and different textures of paint. And mostly what I love about this technique, and this one's called the Frolic of Bubbles. But what I love about this technique more than anything is that you have so little control over it. It's like the art is going to do what it's going to do. And I've always just loved finding out what something is going to turn out like. I have a bunch of these. And when I did this one in particular, I was studying Feng Shui. And this is designed to go with a Feng Shui area in your house. So it has water element, it has blue, elements of blue, and it's also square. So this would be something that would go really well in the home center of your health and of your house. And just, another way to look at it, this one does have essential oils in it, and with the intention to bring about health, happiness, just things in that area of your house for an activation for Feng Shui. So that's piece number one. And now for something completely different, I don't have what you would call a consistent style. So this piece is, I live in Chicago, and this is, I titled this, You Are Beautiful. And if you've been to the Art Institute, and it's an 8x10, and it's printed on canvas. There's a whole Indian art section, and there's a sculpture on the wall that I always thought was very beautiful. So this started off as a photo of this sculpture, and then I superimposed it with a painting, and then I superimposed it again, and you can see the graphics along here with a line drawing that I did. So it's 3 pieces of art that I've made combined into one. It's one of my it's one of my favorite pieces. I have a couple of versions of this, but this is the only one I have just in this nice compact style. It's something, if you want to remind yourself that it's okay to be, just as you are and that you're beautiful, you could put this in your bathroom. You could put it on your bedside table. You could put it just sitting, I'm at my office right now. You can put it sitting on your desk. It doesn't take up much room. And it's also something that reminds you that, yeah, you know what? You are beautiful. Next up, again, me playing more with different techniques. This is called, oh gosh, what do we call it? This is the Dragonfly Elevator. And this was when I was working with a palette knife and a lot of texturing tools. And you can see in here just the texture. This I started off with a blank canvas and painted it black. And then this is just silver, black, and white. So most of this is done with a palette knife. And I love just the symbol of a dragonfly, the idea of resurrection. And if you don't know how dragonflies start off, they start off as these really creepy little water bugs. They're not attractive. They are not this beautiful symbol. If you were in the water and a dragonfly larva, crawled onto your hand, you wouldn't take a picture of it and put it on Instagram. You'd go, ew, but anyhow, this is also just to remind yourself that where you are right now is not where you're always going to be. And the idea of the elevator is just to remember that you are constantly evolving. You are constantly changing. And if you weren't, the opposite of stagnation and change would be the opposite of change would be stagnation. And the dragonfly is there to remind us that we are always evolving. For the fourth piece here, I'm coming back and you can see just the nice shine on this because I did a nice high gloss. I'm going to try to let you see some of the detail without the glare. This is called Passion, and my favorite colors. I've never been a big pastel color person, and I've never liked things that are subtle. So this is all of the deep, rich, there's reds and oranges. There's even some greens and blues for contrast. And to me, this piece kind of focuses around energetically the sacral chakra. And to me, it just embodies that physical, mental, passionate state. And again, this is a nice small piece. It could sit on your desk. It could go in your bathroom. It can also go in a cluster on the wall. I have, I believe this is 8 by 8, and I have probably about 20 of these. So the idea of just putting these on a wall as a, what is the word I'm looking for? A collection. There it is. You doing all right there, friend? You're doing a great job. Just let Picasso know if you want to say, oh, look, see, one says hello. Yes, your friend. And she's very excited. You can tell, mostly you think she's looking at you, but she's looking at her reflection. This is another one. This is, I think it's a 6 by 6. And it's a photo on canvas that I edited. A friend of mine had the most remarkable typewriter, and I grew up learning how to type. Computers came later. Yes, I'm that old. So this is a picture of a typewriter that I superimposed one of my paintings over, and then I wrote a love note to it. So this again is a piece that you could put it in anywhere. And you could send it to someone also, and just to let someone know that you're thinking of them, that you love them. And oh, well, you know what? I'm supposed to be talking about prices, and once again, I have forgotten. But most of these are pretty heavily discounted. So this one is regular. How much are you? What did we have? This should be in my.
Regularly, it's 27
Thank you.
$27, but right now it's $19.
This
And by
one's
the way, it's a
$19.
canvas 5 by 7.
I don't think this is 5 by 7. I think that was my own typo. I think this is a
5 by 5.
I think this is a square canvas. Okay, but you can get an idea of how big. No, don't chew on it. That would be so wrong. Okay, coming up next, I'm going to have to dig down a bit. Now, this one's already been sold. And that's the thing about this, because stuff is on sale and it's a special live promo. About 5 of these pieces have already sold, but I did want to show you my guy. This is Shakespeare, and of course, most of the stuff you see of Shakespeare, he's looking pretty well. He looks pretty serious here, but not necessarily colorful. And I have loved Shakespeare's works my entire life. So I took, and this is just, a quick sketch of him, and then I poured a painting on top of it and drew over it. And it's just a reminder that, life is fun, life is creative. Let's remember to get out there and enjoy what it is that makes you happy. And this one's like normally 27, and this is the only one I have of him, and I'm so sorry he sold. But other stuff comes up. All right. So moving on. Oh, now we're getting it. Sorry, I went to the wrong pile. I took a bunch of my paintings and I put them onto scarves. So I'm trying to think, is the next one, Daniel, is the next one that sold? I can't quite see my screen very well.
Yeah, the next one is the number 7, scarf 1.
Okay, so that's this guy. And this is one of mine, and it's quite big. I'm going to try to get it all unfolded. You see it's a little bit sheer. You can still see us in it. It's 55 inches squared. And this is a painting of mine that I did over the summer that I was actually really quite fond of. It's called A Dragon in Her Garden. And what's nice about these is, yes, I'm going to, here, Picasso and I are going to model it. What do you think, baby? Is it good? Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those ones. And today, if you were in the Chicago land area, I have one of these for myself, and it rained today, and I got to say my scarf worked quite well in the rain. Now, these are normally $57, and for today, for the sale, do you mind? They're $40. So this is one of the scarves, and I'll just pull them all out and show you. 2 of them have sold, so you can double them up and they're not quite as sheer. And this again is another one of the acrylic pour paintings. You can see kind of the cell work that you get when you add silicone. And so that's that one. And then these are the 3 that aren't sold. The other 2 ones, and I'll bring them up just to show you quickly, they've already sold. But this, for me, I mean, wearing a scarf is kind of my main go-to when I want to add a little bit of style to my otherwise maybe not so stylish outfit. And what's really nice is when you do it like this, it's wearable art. And so I have 3 of these left. They, like I said, they're on sale. They're going to be $40 each. The bright yellow one sold, and I got to say that one is my absolute favorite. So I'm kind of sorry to see it go. And yeah, there was that blue one, and I have another one here that also sold. And this is, again, it's a picture with the typewriter, but then I also have one of my favorite poets is Pablo Neruda. And the quote that I put on here is, "Give me silence, water, hope. Give me struggle, iron, volcanoes," which, I mean, and it's a 5 by 7. It's printed on canvas. And like I said, this one is sold, but I will be doing more pieces with bits of poetry and quotation on them. And what I loved about that that quote especially is, most quite often we go through life and we just want things to be easy, and we just want life not to be difficult. And, we could only be happy if this were, if just someone would behave this way, or if I had more money, if I had a different house, if my clothes were a different size, whatever it is you want, you think is the thing that is going to make you happy. And what Neruda is saying with this poem is, yes, give me these things, give me water, hope, but also give me struggle, iron and volcanoes. Give me the things that will challenge me and make me a stronger, more creative, better person. So stand by. There will be more work coming with, little bits of Neruda, my favorite poets, my favorite authors. If you've been to my website, you know that my tagline is a quote by Oscar Wilde that says, "Every woman is a rebel, and usually in wild revolt against herself." So there is going to be more wordplay stuff coming up. I'm going to take the screen there for a second. All right. So moving on to this one was kind of a departure for me, because it just has, it has 2 or 3 colors of gold, different paints, but it is really just a very simple painting. You can see the metallic shine to it, and it's just gold. I thought gold or golden. It does have a little bit of the cells that come up when you use silicone. And it is a nice thing if you wanted to look at the feng shui possibilities. This would be a great piece to put in your wealth corner. If you like to build little altars with, crystals or candles or sage, one of these little paintings, or even, these little guys, are great paintings to put on an altar. Or they're great for a meditation focus. And one of the things that you can do is set yourself up. You can light a candle, and if you're like me, when I sit and meditate with my eyes, the minute I close my eyes, my mind starts going. So with a lot of these abstract pieces, I'll set one of them up on an altar, and I can look at that. And it's, when you look at abstract art, there's usually something different you can see in, every moment that you look at it. And it's a wonderful piece to meditate on, and to I don't want to call it a crutch, but it's a handy meditation tool. And this one right now, I believe it's regular 97, and it is on for 67. All right, and now we're moving out of some canvas. I have and I'm broadcasting in this group as well. I have a Facebook group that I started at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was mostly ways to build each other up and to cope in healthy ways with the pandemic. And one of the things that I put up, I said, all right, I want you to name 2 colors and a shape, and I'm going to make a painting out of it. And some of them turned out, well, that's the reason they're not in this show, but some of them I quite liked. And the prompt for this one, and this is just on, it's just on heavy duty watercolor paper. It's not framed. It's just, this one was triangles and yellow and green. And, there's stencils, there's different shapes here. It was a fun piece to do. And one of the things that I really liked about it is that I didn't go into it with, well, I have to make something turn out this way, or it has to be good, or it has to be this, or it has to be that. These next 2 pieces are really just pure expressions of me going, all right, here's a couple of prompts. Let's make something fun. Now this one's 47. Normally, for any original art, I would charge a minimum of 97. But these next ones I'm just especially fond of, because they really do just represent pure creativity. It was just like, I'm not going to worry if I can do this well, or if I'm going to not do it well, it won't be good enough or anything like that. Because I think when you make art, or, you sit down to do something, you go, I can't, why do I even bother to start? I'm not going to be able to make anything good. And more often than not, work that I make that I really like the way it turns out is something I approach with just a lot of fun. This kind of matches you. Don't. Everybody thinks Picasso's wonderful, but yeah, no, I was just trying to put the green beside her and the yellow beside her, but she wants to take a bite out of it. Yeah, we'll have to do that. We'll have paintings that we charge a little extra for because Picasso has signed them as well. Would you like that? Yeah. No. Okay. And again, any questions that you have, I feel like I'm tearing through this, but if you have any questions, just want to say hi or anything like that, pop it in the chat, wave. All right, moving on. This one, I think I just named by the colors. This is red, gold, and white, but it's, ironically, it's on a black watercolor paper. And I had absolutely zero agenda with this one. It was just like, I wanted to get my hands in some paint. And it is just an exercise in play. It really is. It is just a fun expression. Of course, with me, the gold is always shiny. There's generally a lot of red. I'm a huge fan of contrast. Excuse me. And yeah, this is one of my favorites. It's funny, as I pull this stuff out, I start to feel a little nostalgic about it. So this one is on sale right now for $37. And like I said, normally, I'm not sure what I had this one down for normally. I think it was probably $87. But yeah, I think this one's fun. You can frame it, you can mount it, you can do it wherever it resonates, or wherever you think it would work for you. Okay, moving on. And apparently, I had no idea I did so many shiny gold things, but we've got more. And this one, I really got expansive and went into bronze, copper, and gold with some black. Again, I'm just playing with shapes and stamps. When I was making a lot of these pieces, there was a lot of multimedia. So I would paint down, and then I would rub it off with a different stamp. I think there's probably several of my thumbprints in here. If you go down, you can see all sorts of texture work here, because I would lay the paint on thick with, a roller or a putty knife, and sometimes just with my hands. And then I would add texture to it just by different devices, a lot of them kitchen tools. In fact, I had to sort of, I found art supplies for me are a little cheaper if you buy them as silicone cooking tools, and then I just ruin them and make art with them. All right, coming up next, we have pink and red with black. Clearly, I need someone to help me name these. This guy's a little bit bigger, and it's on a little bit more sturdy paper. And this is another one of my challenges. And I believe it was, whoa, do you see her just going for it? God, you'd do it too, wouldn't you? Yeah. No. So this one, the prompt, I believe, was red, gold, black with hearts. And what you can't see under a lot of these is there's underpaintings under most of these. So there are hearts under here. I did draw them on top. And again, this was my really heavy texture phase. I'm not working with this right now, but now that I have pulled this stuff out and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I want to go back in there and get really messy and mess with texture. I love paint applied thickly and without a lot of control. All right. moving back into canvas, this is one of my acrylic pours, and this is called Dancing with the Ocean. And I'm going to just come up and look at some of just kind of the colors that are in here. I think I probably have about 10 different colors there. And this was one, gosh, how did I do this? This involved a straw, a compressed air can, and made the most fabulous mess in my studio. But it was a lot of fun, and little details like this corner down here reminds me of those peasant skirts that used to be really trendy in previous decades that I probably shouldn't let you know that I lived through. But this reminds me of like a 70s hippie. And what's kind of interesting about these is you can hang it like this. And what I like to do is I like to hang it by the corner, and then you have a diamond shaped. But it will work. Like I said, it's not a big piece. You can find a little bit of wall space for it, and it pops quite a bit of color. I love the blue, and of course there's gold in it because I occasionally do things without red and gold, but for the most part. And that one I took, oh God, I think I took a lot off of that one. It was regular $297, and it's down for this sale for $187. Everything's on the floor down here. All right, so coming up next, this one's called Curved Lines. And what I really love about this, if you can see the paper here, this is something called Yupo, and it's not, strictly speaking, paper. It's a type of plastic, and I use it mostly for alcohol inks and watercolors. But this one is this is acrylics. And what I just love the movement and the shine and the way the acrylics sit on the Yupo. And you can see that, I've put quite a bit of texture in this one. There's different lines. And I don't know, this one I'm super fond of. I've got some red speckles in here. I tend to hesitate using Yupo because the paper is expensive, which is why it's this weird size, because I tend to cut it and play around with it. But I love this paper. Now that I've seen it, I'm thinking I gotta go get some more of this. I have this type of paper in a circle. They actually make circular pads of it. So I might actually go back and do some alcohol inks on here, but you can see the obligatory shiny bit of gold and red, some nice white for contrast, and some texture. You want to take a bite of that one? Yeah. No. Yeah. She's very supportive of my work. All right. So this one is called Pink. What is it? Red, white, and black. Clearly, for someone who loves words as much as I do, I really fall down naming some of my pieces. This one was another prompt, and it had these colors and circle shapes in them. So I popped circles in with stencils, with, excuse me? Hi. Okay. Do you have somewhere, did you want to address the camera directly? Are you all right? Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's fine. Okay, just don't bite my picture, okay? Everybody's a critic. All right. So again, a lot of small pieces here. This one is a great one to meditate on, just to I completely blanked there. I was going to say something. It was probably super profound, and I can't remember what it was. But this one's for 53, and it's frameable. You can, you can go super fancy and put a big mat on it, or you can go really basic with it. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. There, I got my pile and everything kind of fell over. Disappear for a second. Oop, I'm back. All right, this is printed on canvas. And this one is called Inner Strength. And I'm going to let you see a lot of the close up here. This is actually a collaborative piece. I did this with my daughter. So if you can see, it might be reversed, but the word strength has been written along here. And if you look in here, the word love is written over and over and over again. And breathe, there's sickness, there's breath, and it's about what life is. One, you don't get inner strength, you don't become a stronger person when your life is easy. What makes you a stronger person is the personal struggles that you have, the crap that you go through. So I've taken those words and I put them over a picture of one of the hydrangeas from my garden. I'm a huge gardener, and I love, love, love hydrangeas. And then I actually added a painting as well. And then my daughter came in and put the words on it. And this was, I just as an aside, when I was growing up, I always knew I wanted to do art. I didn't, when I was young, I didn't realize that's something you could actually make a job out of it. And then when I got older and realized that people did make a living being artists, I had a family where, well, you could get that bubblegum degree, but if you ever want to make any money, you better go into something reasonable. So I went into biology, reproductive anatomy, actually. And then I went into nursing. And so I'm very, very well educated in science, but I always wanted to do art. So when I raised my own children, the daughter who helped me with this one, she did all sorts of AP art, and she did all sorts of really cool stuff. And then I go, yes, see, I'm letting a kid of mine do the thing I always wanted to do. And then she gave it all up and went into engineering. So she's about to graduate, and not as an artist. But what are you going to do? I thought that was kind of funny. This next one is called Makeout. And this one, actually, the story behind it involves the Chicago Public Library. Every year, and if you can see what it says, I want to make out with all of you. What would you like? Do you want to go back over? Come here, baby. Come here. You go back over there. Yeah, you got this. Okay, no. There's a reason probably most people don't do these lives with parrots on their shoulders. But anyhow, every year in April, which is Poetry Month, the library puts on a whole bunch of poetry events. And one year they had all these cue cards hanging in the windows, and this was one of the slogans on it. And I thought it was just such a romantic thing to say. The idea of, I want to make out with all of you. It's not just about, physically coming together with someone that you care about, but to me, this speaks to all of you, body, mind, soul, emotions, all of it. And I just thought it was such a beautiful thing to say that I combined it with a painting, and I put it on. No, stop it. We don't bite the artwork. Yeah, you're going to get fired. You're a terrible live assistant. Yeah. Juan was so fond of you, and now he's going to realize that you're just here to wreck my stuff. All right, and that one right now, because it's a little small one. You could pop it wherever it's convenient. Just, maybe put it on your partner's bedside table, something like that. And it's on sale right now just for $19. So for $20, you could leave this sexy little note with your lover. And all right. moving on. This one is called Blue and Gold. I didn't realize that I had a theme for this show, but apparently it's shiny. So this is another one where I just kind of let the paint do what it wanted. And just in case you're thinking, well, I'm sure that paint always does beautiful things. There is a pile downstairs of painted over canvases where the paint did exactly what it wanted, and I wasn't so fond of it. This one, however, I do like. This is I did a bunch of metallic metallic paintings. And the daughter that I was just speaking about, the one who decided to be an engineer instead of an artist, claimed several of them and took them. But I do have these few left. So this one is on sale for $117 from $197. Hello, friend. Yeah, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Don't attack the butterflies, so okay? Thank you. No, you're good. You're good. I know. She wants a snack. I told her she could have a snack when we were done. This one is where I took one of the paintings that I did, and I thought, I'm not sure if I necessarily love it. And I added butterflies to it. And the idea of, butterflies, we're more familiar with the metamorphosis of butterflies. They go from caterpillars that, if you don't necessarily recognize them, you would maybe step on or not necessarily think of as a beautiful thing like a butterfly. But just like all of us, this potential for change, this potential for deep transformation is within everyone. And if you needed to be reminded about your potential, or the potential that you want somebody else to realize that they are in fact capable of much greater things than they're giving themselves credit for. Where are you going? My bird is escaping onto my lamp. Okay, yeah, you're doing a great job up there. Thank you. Anyhow, that's what these butterfly represent, is just the ability in all of us to be able to change, to become something more and beautiful than how we started. And this one is 67. Okay. Where are we next? So we're moving on to more gold, red and gold. And I'm going to just bring you up with some of the detail on this. When the paint decides, to do this sort of, I love the cells. I love the movement in this. To me, this almost looks like a fantastic kind of lunar landscape, almost with like a sun or a mountain here. But that's just when I look at it this way. If I look at it this way, it looks like something completely different. And with all of these, you can hang them, you can pair them because they're the same size. And these can go small corners, they can go on altars, they can go into feng shui activation areas in your house, or it can just be just a little bling. You're thinking, oh God, my walls are beige, I need something, I just want a little bit of art, something like this. Okay, moving on. This one is called, the bird is up on my light right now. I'm just waiting for her to swoop on me. All right, this one is called Seafoam, and this started as me just doing an acrylic pour, and then I just started to manipulate the paint. And you can see where I've kind of pulled it through. But again, the colors really, really just like to do what they like to do. This one reminds me of the ocean. It reminds me of actually snorkeling in Grand Cayman. And it's that rounded ocean energy. Again, something small, you can fit it pretty much anywhere. But even just, a little, if you've got an alcove, if you've got a small corner place in a closet on top of a dressing table in your bathroom, lots of places to put small pieces like this. And then almost its partner here, which is called Seafoam. And this one, I'm going to try to bring it in, but can you see the texture that came out with this one? This one, I really laid the paint on really thick. And it probably took a few days to dry. But again, it has, depending which way you want to hang it, I think it really has kind of the feel and motion of waves and water, but also just that, to me, the tranquility or the calmness, the sense of proportion that I get when I'm near a large body of water, specifically the ocean. And again, this is a nice meditation piece. This one would go really well on an altar. And yeah, so that's that guy. And he is, I lost, how much is he? I think this one's 67. And I have one last piece, and it's, can you come over here? Yeah, come down and you can help with the pillow. We've got one more piece. And this, you like that? If you can't tell, is a pillow. And this is, it's a cat painting, but you can see that, I mean, there's different cats. They're on different layers. I started off with a painting, and it prints on both sides, and it's got a nice zipper in it. It's nice and puffy. It right now sits on my blue couch in the living room. There we go. It's super comfy. It adds a real pop of color. I have a whole whimsical section in my on my Facebook, on my website, and this I always imagined as something for kids, or for adults that are still a little bit childlike, perhaps a bit like myself. But it's just a fun little fun little way to add color, add add a little bit of fun. And I have, this was a big seller of mine over Christmas, but different pets that I have, people's pets we've put on cushions and hats and that sort of thing. But yeah, so this lovely throw pillow, and it's got the insert in it. This is $24. And if you've got, a child, a person who loves cats that are just a little bit whimsical, and perhaps some very strangely drawn flowers, it might be something that they would like. So those are all the pieces that I have. And if you have any questions, I have right now a coupon code. Oh gosh, what is my coupon code? But if you wanted to get more than one piece, you put the code in and you get 10% off. Daniel, Juan, do you remember what my code is? I made it, and I tried to make it something I would remember, but
No worries. The code will be in your Instagram bio and in the video description on Facebook as well. So no worries.
Thank you. See, I get by with a lot of help, with a lot of help from my friends, even the ones that aren't small and green and tell me my hair's a mess. So that's basically the live show. Thank you so much for taking some time. If you came and watched Picasso and I work our way through this, I now have a huge pile of paintings around me, but I am so grateful for anyone who watched and everybody who supports me. And if there's questions, pop them in the chat. If there's anything else, is there anything else that I have to do here, Daniel? Did I cover all the major stuff?
You
What
pretty
am I?
much covered all. Only thing is that the sale will be extended until Sunday, February
Thank you.
27th.
Thank you. I actually had that written down here. So yes, the sale. So this landing sheet that is linked pretty much everywhere, but will be linked in the chat and everything too. This sale is going to go on till Sunday, and there will be the coupon code if you want to buy more than one thing. Say if you wanted to get a couple of pieces and just set up a little art corner. Okay, so I think that's good. And if yeah, I'm going to be doing this every month.
Yep.
If you have things that you would like me to cover in one of the shows, if you want me, one of the things that we're talking about doing is one on just bathroom art. Do you have a downstairs bathroom? You're like, yeah, it could use a little life. We're gonna do a show around that. I'm gonna do a show around different pet stuff. I'm gonna do larger pieces. So stay tuned. I'll put the links up on social media. And again, thanks everyone for coming. And I will talk to you later. All right. And you gonna say goodbye?
Awesome.
You gonna say bye, friend? Okay. All right, friends. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to end a live. This should be good. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.